Welcome to the Activated Storyteller's second podcast.
This week's story is The Emperor's New Clothes.
Hi, I'm Zephyr.
And I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Dennis.
And together we are the
Activated Storytellers. Today we are podcasting from the Lewis and Clark the final stop on their expedition, Fort Clatsop. We explored it today. We saw where they came in on their canoe and where they spent the winter.
That's not to be confused with Fort Ketchup, by the way.
No, not one and the same at all. We snuck over the border today. We're going to be just here for a few hours. We're down in Oregon. That's where Fort Clatsop is. And then we are heading back to Washington through July 26th. We'll be performing in 5 counties in Washington. So you can catch a live show in Thurston, Pacific, Grays Harbor, Mason, or Lewis County. Number of shows, so make sure you check our website to find out where we are when. And also in Seattle at the main library on July 15th.
And what we visited today was actually a replica of Fort Clatsop, because the replica burned down back last fall. They think it happened because there was a craft involving candle making, and somehow a cinder, apparently, they believe, fell under the floor or fell down in a crack in the floor and ignited some beeswax, I guess, or whatever they used to make tallow, and burned the whole thing down. Well, not the whole thing down, but pretty much destroyed it. So they're rebuilding now.
By the time the firefighters got there, half the thing was already burned down. They didn't even know about it until it was already half burned down.
Right. The interesting thing is that this is the second time it burnt down, and they began the rebuilding of it the same day that they began the original.
Yeah, so we kind of saw the half-constructed version.
Right. They're still working on the roof. Originally, they had the fort, and then after the expedition left, they gave it to the chief, the Indian chief. By the time the first settler got out here again, the fort was gone, and the first settler burnt down the rest of the remains of the fort on purpose. And then in 1955, they decided to rebuild it, and that was I believe the 150th anniversary, 1955. So they rebuilt it, and that's what burnt down back in October. That's what burnt down. So they've rebuilt it now.
One interesting thing we learned today is that there are several ways of pronouncing the name of the young Indian woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's commonly spelled and pronounced Sacagawea. It could also be Sacagawea or Sakakawea, and they all mean different things. Sacagawea means, I believe, bird girl, bird woman. Sacagawea means more like someone who pushes a canoe.
Right. We learned some interesting stories about her and about the whole expedition, and I think in a future podcast we'll be bringing you those stories. But today we have the story of the Emperor's New Clothes
by Hans Christian Andersen, who also wrote a number of other popular stories, such as Little Mermaid, Little Match Girl, and so on. Hans Christian Andersen had an intense fear, a phobia about being buried alive. And so when he would go to bed at night, he would put a note by his bed saying, "I'm only sleeping." But guess what? There was one night when that wasn't true. Anyway, Hans Christian Andersen has had many of his stories made into movies and cartoons and stage plays, but he didn't get any money out of them because it all happened after he died.
Once upon some time or other, in some faraway land or other, there lived a certain emperor, and for some reason or other, his people were afraid of him. Now, that might be because his officers made people believe that he was mean and fierce. But really, he was a nice guy. He just had one little problem. He spent all of his money buying clothes. Why, that's all that he cared about, was clothes, clothes, clothes. He would often change his clothes several times a day, and whenever he was done with one set of clothes, he would just throw them away.
Well, one day, a couple of con men came along. They heard about this emperor, and they decided they were going to make a bundle.
All right. There's this emperor here in this land, and why he spends all of his money buying clothes. Surely we can profit off of this somehow.
Well, how does that help us?
If we maybe put our heads together, we'll think of something.
Wait, I got it. If we got a whole bunch of really fancy, expensive clothes, and we sold them to this emperor, we could make a lot of money.
That's it. All right, tell me, when can you get in this shipment of clothes to sell?
Me? I thought you knew.
Me? How am I supposed to know?
What?
Oh, terrific. You mean to tell me you don't know where to get a shipment of clothes to sell?
No, I'm just the idea man.
Yeah, well, I got it.
What?
We'll make the clothes.
Yes, that's brilliant. Okay, here's the drill. As soon as you've made the clothes, I'll take them over to the Emperor's palace to sell them.
Whoa! Did I just hear you say that I was going to make the clothes?
Well, of course, I'm not going to make the clothes.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, that's great. So, none of us knows how to make clothes or where we can buy any clothes to sell, so all of our brilliant scheming is all for nothing.
Nothing? That's it. Oh, I have a brilliant idea.
What?
Nothing.
Look, I already thought of nothing.
You don't understand. Come with me to the palace. I'll explain it to you on the way.
Meanwhile, back at the Emperor's palace...
La-da-da, let's see, what shall I wear today? This red one might be nice. It matches my eyes.
Your Majesty, there are 2 visitors coming to see you.
Oh, thank you. Send them in.
Your Majesty, how nice of you to see us. Oh. Do not move a muscle. I can't believe my eyes.
I can't believe his lies. My eyes either. We have never, ever seen a build like yours.
Why, Your Majesty, we believe that you may be just the person to model our brand new, super-duper, magical robe.
Magical robe?
That's right. It's so, exquisitely comfortable, it'll feel like you're wearing nothing at all.
Oh, that sounds like just the thing to wear to watch the parade on April Fool's Day. Here's some gold. Get started on it right away.
Yes, of course, Your Majesty.
Yes, of course, Your Majesty.
We promise to serve you as you deserve.
And so they got busy working, doing absolutely nothing whatsoever.
Old maid?
Go fish.
Finally, the big day came. All right, this is it. You better hope this works, otherwise we may both lose our heads over it.
Don't worry. By the time he figures out what's going on, we'll be long gone.
I hope so, because I think I hear him coming.
Good morning, gentlemen. I trust my new robe is ready.
Yes, of course, sire. Why, we just finished the final stitches at midnight. They should be cool by now.
Excellent. Well, where is it?
It's, close your eyes.
Surprise!
This is it?
Well, of course it is. Don't you like it?
Like it? Why, it's beyond description. And it feels like absolutely nothing. Nothing that I've ever worn before.
Oh, wait until you try it on. It will be so comfortable. It will feel as if you're, wearing nothing whatsoever.
Yes, let's take off this robe you're wearing now.
Oh, yes. You've been wearing it all morning.
It's no good anymore.
No. Off with the old.
And on with the new. Voila! Your appearance is completely renewed.
Really?
Oh, I assure you, sire, you haven't looked this good since the day you were born.
And it's true that fools will not be able to see this magnificent new robe at all?
Quite true. Why, after the parade today, everybody will know who's really a fool.
Well, as they say, here goes nothing. And so the emperor made his way out to watch the parade, and out in the streets, all the people pretended to see and admire the robe.
Oh my!
What's the matter?
Oh, it's just that the emperor's robe. It's so
So what?
different. So, how do you like the fabric?
It's fine. It's very sheer, but it's it looks very natural.
Yes.
Well, what do you see not to like?
Oh, nothing, nothing whatsoever.
That is, everyone pretended to see and admire the robe except for one person. In all the crowd, there was one person, a boy, who was brave enough to say,
"The Emperor's not wearing any clothes."
What? Oh, what did you say?
The Emperor's not wearing any clothes.
Oh, no. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, my child, he did not mean to say that. Oh, he doesn't know what he's saying. Oh, children should be seen and not
I was just thinking the emperor wasn't wearing any clothes, but I don't want to say anything because I want people to think I was some kind of crazy or something.
Oh, well, so was I. So what my child says is right. Why, the emperor's wearing no clothes.
The emperor's wearing no clothes.
The emperor's wearing no clothes.
"The emperor's wearing no clothes."
The emperor's wearing no clothes.
The emperor's wearing no clothes. The emperor's wearing no clothes.
And soon the whole crowd was saying,
The emperor's wearing no clothes. And when the emperor heard this, he realized it must be true. And so he ran back to the palace. Now, I would like to believe that this emperor learned a valuable lesson that day. Better yet, I would like to believe that this young child grew up to become emperor himself.
Awesome!
And that's the story of the emperor's new clothes. Now, you're probably wondering how we did this story on stage when the emperor is supposed to not have any clothes on. Well, it's very simple, actually. We have these basic costumes that we wear, and the emperor wears cloaks over that, and so when those cloaks are removed, he pretends to be naked.
By the way, there are a lot of robes. We actually, when we were putting the story together, we like to refer to it as the emperor's too many clothes, because there really were too many cloaks to keep track of. We have some clothes that are actually reversible. Like you can take off one cape and then you flip it around and it'll look like a different cape.
Right, and I sewed the clothes in it, so I did that to save us a little bit of space as we're traveling with our shows. And before the show starts, Dennis hangs up all of his cloaks backstage, has them all ready to go.
And underneath the cloaks, there is a vest that is made with Velcro to rip apart, so the two con men can just rip the clothes right off the emperor's back.
That's right. So we hope you get a chance to come see the show. Like I said, we are in the Timberland Regional Libraries. This is June, and we are going to be in this area through July. We have a bunch of shows in the area in places like Olympia, Washington, Shelton, Tumwater, Elma, Yelm, Washington, and too many to name here, but you can check out our website and find them listed online at activated-storytellers.com, and then just look for our schedule.
Well, the 4th of July is coming up, and in honor of the 4th of July, we will be podcasting on the 6th. We'll have Davy Crockett.
And some of the whoppers that he told. We'll see you on Thursday. The Activated Storytellers perform at schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use American Sign Language, physical comedy, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring the stories to life. For booking information, check our website at www.activated-storytellers.com, where you can also find out when the Activated Storytellers will be performing near you. Read a story or order one of our audio CDs. Until next time.